SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
When your health matters most, trust South Central Regional Medical Center. From family care to life-saving treatment, our team is here for you. Find our services at scrmc.com. South Central Regional Medical Center. Excellent care and service, every patient, every interaction, every time.
Your towns, your teams, your source, that's Y'all Sports. I'm Cliff Furr, the Y'all and Y'all Sports, and I'm going to say that word again, y'all. It's Y'all Sports Radio, coming to you from SuperTalk 102.1 FM in downtown Brookhaven. Y'all Sports is dedicated to covering the 5-county coverage area of Franklin, Copiah, Lincoln, Lawrence, and Pike counties, and we try to do as best job we can getting out, seeing the teams, seeing the players, and letting you know what's going on when it comes to athletics in Southwest Mississippi. I'm joined, as always, by my friend and co-host, Brennan Shamatara. And before we even get started, we want to thank our sponsors of Y'all Sports Radio. You heard a couple of them there in the theme song. That was Bank of Brookhaven and Toyota of Brookhaven, yow. And then we also have Brennan Shamatara, State Farm Insurance. Brennan, you got your shirt on. You've been busy slinging deals today over at Brennan Shamatara State Farm Insurance.
Hey, man, I don't really sling many deals. That ended whenever I became a State Farm agent. I'm really out of sales. I wish that I could go back in because
I hear that a lot of times. The guys that were in sales and were out of sales, they wish they could go back in and, scratch that itch.
Yeah, I mean, you become more of a problem solver, and you're dealing with all personalities, employees, and things like that. Not to say that I have problems with my employees, but you just deal with all these different things and helping people and then meeting with customers and being sure they're happy and all the things. But things are going really good, man. We've had a great year, and losing a couple of guys to new towns, and I'm going to hate to lose them, but, hey, that so goes it with anybody who is an employer, and so you figure it out. That's
what success does, and Brandon is successful for a lot of reasons, one of them being he's a former offensive lineman, and we all know that's the brain room of any football team. And another offensive lineman is our guy Sam Baller with Good Hope Land and Timber, and we thank Sam for his support of Y'all Sports Radio. And then our friends at Juan Seed Store. When you're able to listen to this podcast form of this radio show, it's thanks in parts to our friends at Juan Seed Store, where they are more than a feed store, and you hear the rumble of the pipes as a truck goes by. We're in Southwest Mississippi when you hear that. Well, look, Brandon, we are coming off of another great show. My favorite hour of the week is getting to do this, and last week we had Coach Jeremy Loy in, and we were talking a little Wesson Cobra football. Had to catch him before the calendar got away from us, and we weren't able to get high school football coaches in, but we'll figure it out. We got guys that have time and can make time for us. But, man, wasn't that fun just hearing Jeremy's journey? And I love one of my favorite tidbits was, he's a high school football coach that was willing to go to the best jobs when he's got 3 kids that were born in 3 different towns in Mississippi, right?
Oh, man, such a joy. When Coach left, I was just so inspired by our conversation with him. I just went over to my office, shut the door, and started pumping out some push-ups and grunting. And of course, everybody's like, what is he doing in there? No, I'm kidding. But love Coach Loy, man, and everything he stands for, and just the program that he has built there at Wesson, just the amount of respect he has from locals. You go look at comments and things like that on Facebook, Y'all Sports page, and just people love him, man, and that's kind of an anomaly, given that we're in 2026, and he's still that hard-nosed coach that we remember from years past, but he's got his own blend there of love and care and pushing his players, and so he definitely has the right balance, because you can push a player to their limits as long as they know that you care about them,
absolutely,
they'll respond. But if they don't think that you care about them, they're not going to respond. And then you're not going to have players come out on your team. You're going to be begging, recruiting your own hallways and things like that. But Coach Lloyd doesn't have that problem. He and his staff do an outstanding job. Really excited about their season this year.
Yeah, a lot of folks noticing Wesson, talking about Wesson as a possible 2A contender. I agree with that. They know that there are people like Heidelberg out there. They lost a 2-point game to Mize in the second round, just a really close game. Stylistically, it was two really different style offenses. Mize with the ground game, Wesson with their passing game. It was a tough, gritty night of high school football there. I watched that. And yeah, I'm just excited to watch them, like you said, because so much is coming back. They're going to be big this year. His talk had me fired up too. I love covering Wesson, and you can see in 10 years kind of the mark that he's put on the program. You're absolutely right. One of the things I thought was fun out of that conversation was he was talking about his coach that inspired him at Trinity and how the guy was a former Marine. He had been at Nam, and he was just so tough that you just kind of like believed him and following it. And I'm not saying Jeremy's a Marine or anything like that, but when my boy was running the roads of Natchez, there were plenty of nights where he met up over on a in Faraday over on the levee
on the
levee and got after it and chucked some knucks. And he kind of brings that toughness to the program. And when you go watch them work out, there's no wasted space in their weight room. There's no wasted reps. Like I said last week, they lead the league in guys hollering at each other when they're doing reps, like, come on, do it. Like they're pushing each other.
That's what you want, man.
That's what it takes, man. That's what it takes. Your weight room should not sound like a Sunday school room, okay?
Yeah. No,
if it does,
it needs to be loud and louder than the music.
Yeah.
And that's saying something, because I know how those weight rooms are.
Boy, those turtle boxes, is that some kind of black magic that makes those mugs so out loud?
Listen, they are really expensive, but I think they're worth every dime. And by the way, Turtle Box does not sponsor y'all Sports Radio or the podcast.
No.
And so,
but
listen,
you can find one at Juan Seed Store, I believe.
You can. And also, if anybody is a rep for Turtle Box, call Cliff, and I'm sure you guys can work out a deal.
Yeah, one of my favorite, I've been going around watching high schools, and one of my favorite scenes this summer that I walked into Lloyd Star's weight room, and they had a turtle box, and it was in a laundry basket. It's like a $450 turtle box and a $3 laundry basket they got from Dollar General down the road. And the laundry basket had weightlifting, like leather belts in it, weight belts, and it also had the collars that you put on the end of the weights, bar collars. And it's sitting here, and the turtle box sitting on top of that, and Far Behind by Candlebox.
Oh.
Probably one of the greatest songs ever written in my lifetime is just blasting. And I was just walked up and I was just like, yeah, brother, this is what workouts are all about, man. I will get so jacked up, Brandon, that I will think to myself, I kind of want to power clean.
Yeah.
But then I don't.
Please don't.
But then I start just kind of like feeling myself, and I'm like, boy, you're soft, and the way these kids are making these, hang cleans look so easy.
Oh, man.
Just stay your butt by the coaches and talk. I haven't done it yet.
And I've been keeping up with your journey in the series called The Work on the Facebook page there. And so you're seeing a lot of hard work. And you're seeing a lot of effort and a lot of sweating, a lot of guys getting better, man. It's been a joy to keep up with on the social media there.
One of my favorite scenes, I didn't put it, I dropped an episode for Brookhaven High, dropped an episode for Lloyd Star. I got one coming from Weston soon, one coming from West Lincoln soon. One of my favorite things I saw was a bad workout at Brookhaven High. I've talked about it, but guys get up in each other's faces and pushing each other and demanding accountability. And that's the kind of stuff that it's behind the scenes, and I can't necessarily film it, but I know who was doing it. I know who was not doing the reps. I know who was making them do the reps, and that's where leaders are created, is in those situations, those summer situations. And our guest today on Y'all Sports Radio is somebody who also gets to see things behind the scenes, and that is my sister, Katie Furr Mobley, who is the other Y'all in Y'all Sports. She is the chief of photography for Y'all Sports. Some would say that Y'all Sports would be absolutely nothing without her photographs.
I agree.
She is the secret sauce in the formula. And she's my best friend, and she's somebody that's just as passionate about local high school sports as me. So when we get back next on Y'all Sports Radio, we got Katie in the building and on the mic on Y'all Sports Radio coming up next.
Exciting news, Brookhaven. Juan Seed Store has a fresh start under new ownership. Meet Guy and Paige Nelson, who are thrilled to welcome you to our fabulous new location at 636 Greenview Trail. At Juan Seed Store, we're not just about seeds. Discover a wide range of top-quality feed, seed, and everything you need for your outdoor adventures. Explore our expanded selection of gardening essentials, pet supplies, and outdoor gear. It's a whole new experience waiting for you. Juan Seed Store. More than just a seed store. Visit us today and see the difference at 636 Greenview Trail in Brookhaven.
Good Hope Land and Timber is a full-service land and timber company that offers years of experience in forestry and land management. Our services include timber and land purchasing, timber management, plantation thinning, and development harvesting. Our company has an experienced logging force that is trained according to the Sustainable Forestry Initiative and best management practices. Give Sam Ballard a call at 601-669-5999 for all your timber harvesting and land management needs.
All right, we're back on Y'all Sports Radio. I'm Cliff Furr, the Y'all and Y'all Sports, joined as always by my friend and co-host Brandon Shamatara, and we've got a very special guest today with us. It's getting that time of year, Brandon. It's going to be Friday night lights in no time, and when the Friday night lights are burning, I'm at a game, and I always know that my sister is going to be at the other game, and that's my sister, Katie Furr Mobley. You've seen her name all over Y'all Sports. You've seen her pictures all over Y'all Sports. And Brandon, when I conceived Y'all Sports a year ago, I went to some trusted friends, you being one of them, and I said, hey, I'm thinking about doing this thing, and would you support it? And the first person that I went to with that dream was my sister, because I knew that I couldn't do it without her help. And Katie, for folks that might not know, tell us, when did your love of photography begin?
About 17 years ago, when your oldest child was born. I bought my first professional camera when Amelia was almost here, and she was my captive subject for about the first 2 years of her life. But then sports photography came about for me. I taught at Lloyd Star for about 13 years. Sherry Davis was the yearbook sponsor, and just got into taking some candids around school, and that led into sports photography. I followed many students over the years there. And then when I left Lloyd Star to come to the central office, it just kind of died down until all of this got started.
Yeah, they claim you hard at Lloyd Star. Like, a lot of people love you, but at Lloyd Star, they're like, no, she's ours.
Man, I love them. I love them.
Yeah, and you're right. Amelia, my daughter, who's a senior in high school, very special, the fact that we can, her mother and I can say, we have a picture of every single day of her first year of life, because Katie came over and they would put her in new outfits, new poses, stick her in a bucket, put her in a pumpkin, move her over here, move her over there, and she couldn't do anything about it. But
I wouldn't know how to use my camera without her.
That's right. And we've got amazing pictures from her life growing up. But then you're right, those Lloyd Star pictures, every once in a while, Katie, when I'm looking for a picture of like a grandparent or something like that, I jump into your Facebook galleries, and we can go back and we can look and see those Lloyd Star teams. And like, man, you were there during some great times of Lloyd Star athletics. But you were also there during some times where Lloyd Star football wasn't the best around. Do you remember some of those games?
I do. I remember, we had a lot of big times, baseball wise, a lot of a lot of exciting times, but it didn't matter how hard things were on the football field. Those kids still appreciated somebody showing up for them, and mama still appreciated having their babies' pictures taken. So it never deterred me, no matter what kind of season they were having. They still appreciated and still loved having their photos.
Yeah, you never put a watermark on anything. You never put it behind a paywall. You used to always put it out there on your Facebook and just told the people, hey, come look, like, share.
Yeah, tag whoever's in the photos.
Yeah, this is like pre-Instagram too. Like this is
It's before people were monetizing their social media accounts.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and before people were charging like for action shots, like, hey, I'll go photograph your player for this much. I just had mamas in my DMs going, hey, if you don't mind, could you get a couple of number so-and-so?
Yeah.
And I never,
I got moms in my DMs too. They're usually like telling me about. No, I do. Like they're telling me something their kid did or something like that. Yeah. I'll still get some fun ones, like somebody from Belzona being like, hey, can you post my highlight video? And I'll be like, hey, man, thank you, but like I'm like focused on a pretty small little area here in Southwest Mississippi. But yeah, Kate was doing that, and you mentioned Lloyd Star baseball. I mean, the MHSA will say that Lloyd Star didn't win a state championship, but I like to say we were there, we saw it happen, and a sea of red, and you were in that dugout.
That was such an incredible group of kids too, like off the field. They were just, I know you like to talk about how this year's senior class is a really special group, but that group was incredibly special to me. Like the senior leadership on that team was Braden Brister, Parker Flowers, Connor Allen, Cole Smith, just, some of the standouts when I think about my years at Lloyd Star. And they were multi-sport athletes, but man, they were so much fun to follow that baseball season.
And you said Parker, and he's always on our mind. We love talking about Peyton Flowers at Y'all Sports. You were there that night, Katie. You were at that Lloyd Star West Lincoln game where Peyton went down with a head injury and then wound up being taken off the field. Ambulance came, right? Yeah. And I'm sure that that also helps kind of when you think about the connection that you have with the people out there. You've been there during the worst of the times too, right?
Oh, man, yeah. That being there that night and witnessing one of the worst things imaginable, and then the days that followed, man, it just really solidified that feeling of family there, and loving on kids, and teachers stepping into different roles other than teaching in the classroom, and that is forever etched in my mind and in my heart, and my love for those kids in particular. But then I was lucky to also we had just done some Who's Who pictures like the day before, and so he was Peyton was so silly, and I had a whole bunch of selfies on my camera that he had tried to take that night, and it was just a blessing to be a part of those kids' lives, and see what kind of adults they've grown into, dealing with such adversity at such a young age.
Yeah, and I can remember as Peyton lingered here a little bit longer over the next couple of days, and the whole state was praying for him, and people were using pictures that you had taken, pictures that Jonathan Alford had taken for the Daily Leader. They were using them in these news stories that people like SuperTalk and WWT3 and other people, Clarion Ledger, were writing these articles about. Everybody's praying for this Lloyd Star football player, and I wrote something about him a couple summers ago, and I was because I'd seen the 42, the Superman stickers still on cars around town, and was thinking about, wow, we're here a decade later, and we're still thinking about him. He's still in our hearts. We're still talking about him. And one thing that I remember is when I was doing some research is just how, like you said, that spirit, it was captured in every picture of him, that smile. And I talked to his brother about Peyton for that article, and he said, man, my brother he's so full of life that when we were little kids, he'd just run up the side of a tree and cut a flip. Like he's like, if he was still here, he'd have been in the military, and he'd probably been like a SEAL or something, because he was just He had so much life within him. And you're right, Katie, that's why we do what we do. That's why you've been in education long as you've been. That's why I've been in education. That's why Brandon was in education before he was in insurance. It's making those connections and being able to see the mountaintops and the valleys that we get to experience for these kids, right?
And I didn't realize how much I missed that kind of interaction with kids and getting to know them until we started this up a year ago. So, getting to know kids that I wouldn't have known otherwise, and getting to be a part of things that I wouldn't have otherwise been a part of it's just been such a silver lining to all of this.
Well, I want folks to hear me say this. You love it a great deal, and there are plenty of times where you say, where should I go tonight? And I'm like, Katie, you don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to do anything. I'm tired. I know you're tired. And you're like, no, I want to go somewhere. And it's because you know it and I know it as well. When you get in the dugout, when you get on the sideline, when you get in the gym and something cool happens, you just get juice from it. Mm-hmm. And it just makes you, especially you get that great picture, it just makes you want to just keep going and keep watching stuff, right?
Yeah, I was talking a couple of weeks ago when we went to the Panthers, Little Panther camp that they were doing. Caden Quarles was taking some pictures with another photographer's camera, and we were talking about action shots and just kind of the fun of it. And I said, it's just, you're chasing a high the whole time. It's because you want that perfect shot. You want the football player in the air, or you want the catch, or you want the perfect hit, or in baseball. And so it's just it's a real good creative outlet, but it's also
it's dopamine.
Feels good to
it's
get
dopamine.
the right shot.
Brandon, my first game that I covered for the Daily Leader sports editor was Coach Jesse Anderson's first game at Lawrence County. They were down playing in Summit. They were playing North Pike. North Pike had a quarterback named Elijah Martin that folks might know. He's an NBA player now. And I go down there, and I'm watching that game, and it's lightning delayed. And Katie had given me her camera set up and said, here, she gave me an old camera and said, here, gave me some tips on shooting pictures. One of the best shots I got that night, I got a guy giving a stiff arm.
Yeah.
And he's got the ball tucked, ball's in focus. He's stiff arming a North Pike guy. The North Pike guy's like kind of under his armpit a little bit. It's framed up perfect. And I thought to myself, well, this is easy. And brother, was I wrong. I haven't got a picture that good since.
Wow.
I'm chasing the dragon is what I'm doing. I'm like, it's hard, man. It's hard. Brandon, have you ever taken a picture of an athletic event?
No.
It'll humble you.
Other than my kids, chasing
your
around
iPhone.
the soccer field or, basketball court or whatever. But, to hear you guys talk about, chasing the great photo and, and kind of how that makes you feel. But the other side of it is you guys are like me in this aspect, is that when you get around, they say kids will keep you young.
Oh,
and that's the truth. I mean, like you I'll just take it back to when we went to Lloyd Star and you tricked me in putting on Meta glasses and taking pictures from Layla. I was like, man, this is so much fun. And of course, I'm type A. I get around people. I mean, we could just be hanging out, and I'm gonna just be energized from it. But when you go around athletes, oh man, it just takes it up a whole nother level. So that's the other side of it is, just all the great times and memories with the players.
I was telling my students today, I was telling my newest group of 8th graders, I said, hey, raise your hand if you ever had a teacher that didn't like kids. Some of them raised their hand. I said, well, I'm not that teacher. Being around teenagers makes me feel younger, and it always has, and it always will. And Katie, we're talking about photography, but Katie is and has been a life-changing special education teacher in her career, and she is getting to the end of that road. And look, we're not gonna like break any laws or anything like this, but I will never forget your first year teaching, because you were living back at home and I was at home, and sister, you cried every day. You took a very tough job.
Yes.
You took a very tough job that another teacher had abandoned.
Yes.
And you took it, and you were fresh out of Mississippi College, and you had been up at Gary Road. You had been teaching, doing your student teaching up there, and you were on fire to be a teacher. And then when you stepped a foot in the classroom, teaching some kids that weren't very much younger than you, it gave you a whole new appreciation for the job, right?
Oh, absolutely. I was just talking to some teachers yesterday during a meeting about that, that first year is a doozy no matter what. But I was 21. I didn't know anything about anything. And I used to get my first semester that I taught, I graduated in December. I started in January at West Lincoln. And I got in trouble about twice a week for getting Cokes out of the Coke machine because they thought I was a kid, or getting asked for my hall pass. I mean, I literally looked like a baby. But, yeah, I was there at West Lincoln for a semester. My boss came to me about midway through that semester. And while I was at West Lincoln, I was teaching a group of resource students, and they spanned from kindergarten through 7th grade. So I had kids of every age and ability level, and
it's like a one-room schoolhouse. It was like a one-room schoolhouse.
Yes,
you were just going around teaching everybody at once.
I didn't see another adult most of the time through the day because my classroom was in that old gym, and the only other classroom up there was driver's ed, and they were out and about. So my boss came to me and right before spring break of that semester and asked me if I would take this special little group of children at Lloyd Star. There were 4 of them, and my primary focus through my whole career has mostly been on teaching and assisting kids with autism. So that was my jam, and so I stayed there until I was asked to come to central office.
And you were very good at it. If you were a football coach, you'd be Darian Dorsey, you'd be Jeremy Lloyd, you'd be Ron Rushing, you'd be my buddy Ryan Ross, you'd be all these guys that I love and respect. You're very, very good at it. And as you built that class up at Lloyd Star, I got a job, quote unquote job, as a sub at Lloyd Star, and I got to see Katie teach up close as I had just gotten out of college and didn't have a teaching job. And I was a sub for a teacher that was pregnant, and Brandon, I would go over and I'd see her during my off period, and it would be early in the day for a high school teacher, but it would be right around lunchtime for a lower elementary teacher. And Katie's kids, they required, she had assistants. They had to have a hand on each child walking to and from the cafeteria every single day. And watching them go to lunch was just one of those experiences. Man, there is nothing like seeing the self-contained kids in a secondary education. It's what public schools stand for. It's what the greatest thing about public schools is. We reach all those kids, even the ones who have some of the greatest difficulties. And Katie, when you're in college, you don't realize there might come a day that you have to change a diaper or something like that. Sure. But you have done that with so much class and so much poise. And dang, I'm proud of you for a lot of things, girl, but you getting to the end of your education career right here is just like, look, you're all about to see y'all sports. You're all about to see, like, I'm just going to do in December, we're going to do a Katie Day where we just talk about all the people who can attest to the way their lives were changed by the impact that you had on their kids. So
thank you.
Get ready. What? You don't like the spotlight? How are you my sibling? Well, look, we're going to talk more. That was a little education talk. That was free. It won't cost you anything. We're going to talk a little bit more about sports. We're going to talk about what Katie's excited about to see as we begin year 2. We just celebrated our birthday on Sunday. Y'all Sports turned a year old. And so we're a toddler, y'all. We're learning how to walk. We're getting our sea legs, and we're going to see what's going to happen in year 2 of Y'all Sports. We'll talk with Katie about that next, coming up on Y'all Sports Radio.
Welcome to Juan Seed Store, your go-to spot for all your farming and agriculture needs right here in Brookhaven. Located at 636 Greenview Trail, we're much more than just a seed store. Discover our extensive selection of plated dog collars and Garmin collar systems while you're here. Don't forget to grab your feed and treats for your furry friends. Shop with us Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Juan Seed Store, where we're so much more than just a seed store.
Trust the experts at Good Hope Land and Timber, your full-service land and timber company with years of experience in forestry and land management. From land and timber purchasing, timber management, plantation thinning, and development harvesting, our team handles it all. Our experienced logging force is trained to the highest standards under the Sustainable Forestry Initiative and best management practices. Call Sam Ballard today at 601-669-5999. Good Hope Land and Timber, locally trusted, landowner approved.
Man, hold on. Let's let that cowbell hit. Little Blue Oyster Cult for you on Y'all Sports Radio. We're back. I'm Cliff Furr, the Y'all and Y'all Sports, joined by my friend and co-host Brendan Shamatara. And we're joined by my sister and best friend and chief photographer of all things Y'all Sports, Katie Furr Mobley. And Brandon, whenever I'm on a Friday night sideline, there's usually a sideline somewhere else that Katie's at. We go, sometimes I send her and the junior correspondent, Graham, out, and I let them cover games together. Sometimes I've had Graham and Amelia covering games together, but it just allows us. People would ask me when I started this thing, hey, how are you going to be in multiple places at once? And I was like, well, I'm going to be in one place, and Katie's going to be somewhere else, and I got friends that take photos for us at other places. So, Brandon, when I look over the sidelines, a lot of times I see you there because you watch a lot of games. Do you have one from your the first year of Y'all Sports that was a favorite moment for you, Brandon?
Man, so many to choose from. I mean, it's hard not to just be really amped about any of the Brookhaven High games. Those were just a ton of fun. And so I enjoyed those. The state championship is probably going to, take the cake because we've talked about it many times, but you just saw like a team get down to the big dog in the state.
That's
and
right.
Just how they
There's a new big dog on the porch now, and I'm reminding those mugs every day.
Every day.
And look, I shared a throwback clip today. I called it a Tossback Tuesday of me running up and down the sideline with Corey McLaurin. You know what? We got a way back Wednesday, we got a throwback Thursday, and I got a flashback Friday ready for the West Point fans if they forgot who the state champs are. But look, Brandon does a segment where we do rapid fire. But man, we got Katie in the house. We got to go a little bit deeper. Yeah. So Brandon, quiz my girl on some of her favorite moments.
Sure. Hey, I'll just come out of the gate hot here. What was your favorite moment of year one of Y'all Sports, by the way? Yeah.
I mean, of course, everybody, if you were there in Davis Wade, that's something you never forget is the emotions and the, just how dramatic and intense that was.
Crazy train.
Yeah. It was super special, but man, I saw a lot of things over the past year that I wouldn't have normally seen. Went to my first co-lin softball game. Mm-hmm. That was a lot of fun. I get it. I get the hype.
You were there, Brandon.
You were
officially
there.
my first one too. So we've got something in common there.
There we go.
Now, I've kept up with them online, and sometimes via TV or whatever they were on. And but no, it's just super. I mean, I didn't even get a chance to sit down. They were hitting so many home runs.
She understands her sister-in-law a little bit more now.
Angela's been hyping them up for years. Knows them all by name. Knows everything about them. And so going to that for the first time was a lot of fun.
Tell me this: when you're carrying around a pretty heavy camera, and you swap lenses out at all during the course of a game?
I do some. Just depends on what I'm shooting. Different sports call for different lenses, and shoot kind of shorter on basketball and longer lenses on sports like football and baseball.
Yeah,
and
where you can't be right on top of them.
Yeah.
So at Davis Wade, if you weren't there, one thing you missed out on was how it drizzled pretty much the whole time. So how do you keep your lens from fogging and from getting wet?
That was such a rookie feeling night for me because you show up to I showed up to an event where all these professional, like full-time professional photographers were, and they were prepared, where we drove up like after work, you know, and they were all prepared. They all shoot for the Clarion Ledger or whatever, you know, MHSAA, and had their rain gear that covered their lenses and cameras. And I had a $1 poncho that I tried to just tie around,
but
and
it still
keep it in my jacket.
It still took outstanding shots, and you did a great job there. I gotta pick your brain on this one. So we know Cliff is a sausage dog as a side kind of guy. He spends a lot of money. You know, he's good for the local school economy when he goes to the game.
Absolutely, brother.
And so
no comps. I'll take a comp, but I don't get comp. I get comp, but West Lincoln, they always throw me a free sausage dog. Shout out to the Bears.
Well, and that, you know, leads me to my next question. You know, being part of y'all sports, does, you know, Cliff give you per diem when you go to these concessions so you can buy your sausage dog or buy senior correspondent Graham Furr? You know, if Graham's anything like my kids, I have to say, like, all right, here's 20, that's it.
I give her money for Graham. I always give her money
only
for
with
Graham.
And he spends every penny of it.
He does.
The night that I took him to, which another one of my highlights of the past year was the Macomb Poplarville game. Graham Furr and I fell in love with Macomb.
Yeah.
Had never been to a game there in my entire life, but
C.C. Moore Stadium.
They are so hospitable. They were so good to us. Really appreciated having us there.
A lot of pride and tradition there.
Yes, and man, they just run a great program, and you know, always made us just feel comfortable and welcome. But I messaged Cliff and Angela that night and was like, I have messed up so bad. I let Graham get a whole bag of like Nerds clusters and then gave him a sip of one of my energy drinks.
Come on.
I got home around 11:30 and he was just buzzing around the living room.
You should have just gave him the ball, let him run it for Macomb.
He talked to everybody in that stadium, and he's fun to go out to a game with because he tells me who to take pictures of, who to be looking out for, who's got these offers on the table, and so he kind of directs me as he's. I mean, I like going out with him. He's a good shooting
Did you guys
partner
make the decision to go to that game kind of like last minute? There were some other games on the schedule maybe, and y'all weren't going to go, but then you did go, and then saw just this epic game.
No, it was that was kind of a last minute night. She said, "Where should I go?" And I said, "Hey, I'm going to be here," but I said honestly, because you know I have to spread the love, and I can't go see people twice.
You're only one man.
Yeah, and I said honestly, the best game is Macomb and Poplarville, but it's going to be a huge crowd. You're going to have to park. You're going to have to walk. And she'd already been to Macomb, Brookhaven, and so she was like, "No, I'm going back." And like she said, she fell in love with Macomb. I mean, they got this song that they play after they score a touchdown. Yeah. Something about that sound.
Their coaching staff is just remarkable. Yeah. I've never seen anything like them, and their crowd is always on 10, like always on 10. It's a really fun stadium to shoot in. You know, I don't ever feel like I'm in the way like I do at some schools, you know, like they're like, no, get up here, get what you need. And there's always other photographers out there that are fun to shoot with. But man, that night was
epic.
Insane. Ty Keys and Sheldon Isaac, and then watching the Poplarville crowd was insane that night too. Yeah. But yeah, that was one of my favorite games of the whole year.
She's wanting to go to Poplarville for the rematch. She's
Road
like,
trip.
And they played twice. But the cool thing about that Macomb Poplarville game was Katie got the footage of Macomb blocking a field goal as time expired to win the game, and we put that on Y'all Sports immediately. And then next thing you know, it's got 150,000 views on a Friday night. That's something that I really saw you kind of fall in love with in year one of Y'all Sports is the video aspect.
I will tell you, I have to give credit where credit is due, and Graham takes a lot of video when we're shooting together. He takes my phone and he knows how to follow the ball, and he knows how to follow the action. And I think that he's responsible for a lot of those videos from that night, because we were so amped and so pumped about what a fun game it was. Like, I remember we killed my phone battery. Like, we couldn't even update you on the end of the game and who won until we got back to the car, and I had my phone plugged in for a minute because it was so crazy there.
And when you got that many people around, it's like everybody's fighting for service, and your phone's just continually working, so it drains it down pretty fast. But no, Graham knows what to do. He does. He has been around this long enough. He knows where that, and a lot of times he may even be able to tell you where the plays might be going at that point. So
tell that story about the Southern Miss assistant coach.
When we were at, I guess it was that game, we went to two or three Macomb games.
You went three?
Yes. So I think it was that game, and they had several recruiters there at one game, and Graham recognized them immediately, and knew who they were there to see, knew what schools they were from, and he is not bashful at all, and so he. Partway through the game, I'm shooting, and a lot of times he just hangs right with me, and I look up, and he's all the way on the other end of the field in the middle of all those scouts, and I didn't go get him or anything. I just said, bless their hearts, like they're trying to do their job, and he's all up in the middle.
He'd
of
had
them.
some Alani by this point.
Yes, that is true. That is true. My
Nerd
mistake.
clusters and Alani, he's ready.
Yeah. So a little while later, it was after halftime, a little while later, the scout from Southern Miss walked by and said, "Is he yours?" and pointed to him. And I said, "That's my nephew." And he said, "How does he know?" He said, "He just rattled off a whole list of running back. Was it running backs that he was there to?"
They're running backs, and he knew a lot about Bam, who they signed, Southern Miss signed from Macomb. And
he said he just gave me a whole list of kids from like rural schools that I needed to go check out that he said were getting overlooked. Like, how does he know this? And I said, look, he's an encyclopedia. He's like his dad. He's
very
just
proud
got
dad
this
moment there.
Encyclopedic knowledge of sports.
Yeah, very, very, very proud dad moment there.
Also stays on Huddle.
He actually got Huddle banned at his school. He was looking at Huddle so much that one of the teachers noticed it and called central office and emailed central office and got tech department and got Huddle blocked.
The website blocked.
And and I'm telling you, I wouldn't have been so confident going into the West Point Brookhaven game if I had not had Graham tell me. He's like, "Hey, you been on Huddle and watch West Point film?" And I'm like, "I mean, a little." And he's like, "You got to go watch their Holmes County game." He's like, "We're going to beat them." And then I watched it.
He knew that our defense was going to outplay them. Yeah. He knew that there was no way that they stood a chance.
Wow.
He knew exactly what to look for.
I'm a proud dad.
Well, so much excitement in year one. Definitely looking forward to year two. I know you are. Tell me this. What are you most excited for about year two, y'all sports?
I'm super excited about watching Brookhaven this year. Would love to have a repeat. Be more prepared for Davis Wade this time. Not feel like such an entry level there. I'm excited about Co-Lin volleyball.
Ooh.
Like, I can't wait to get up there and watch them. They've got one of our Lloyd Star girls up there, Micah Clare. I'm excited about the programs at our county schools, the Bogachita program for volleyball, Lloyd Star's volleyball team. Man, I went to a BHS hosted a tournament a couple weeks ago. It was fun watching these girls that have just been playing for like a year out there. That was fun.
Tell me, and I know I said last question, but as you're talking, I was just thinking, and you mentioned Co-Lin volleyball, and I scrolled through Facebook and I saw the media day, and the thoughts come to mind, why or when did this happen? Now high schools are having these huge media days and taking these how much work goes into that kind of thing?
A ton of work. I think TikTok is really responsible for that trend.
Yeah. She wants to do that. She wants to bring the kids in. She wants to take pictures. She always wants to do more. And I'm like, hang on, dog. Let's retire from our real job before we. But yeah, I mean, you're right, Brandon. It's they didn't let you go into a Waffle House and sit down in your uniform with a all-star menu.
Come on.
No,
Yeah.
man,
Was that MRA that did that?
Well, I've seen a bunch of people. I've seen JUCOs
What
do
is-
it.
Where is this coming from? What is the deal with Waffle House?
Waffle
Help the
House,
listeners.
Gas stations, Burger King. I messaged a player the other night and was like, should we go to Taco Bell and do a photo shoot?
Oh, that's a
Like-
good idea. That's a
love
y'all. That's a y'all sports approved. And I have friends at Taco Bell. I know the staff there very well.
Times have changed, brother. And I know we've got some listeners right now that understand exactly what I'm talking about. 10 years ago, or when we were putting on pads, if I said, Coach, you think I could have my gear to go take a picture somewhere? I'd have been running sprints right then, if not gotten a paddling. It's like, what do you mean take a picture? This ain't about you, it's about the team. No, I just want something to look back on. You know, that's how that conversation would have went.
I think with their platforms are such a way to get exposure
That's
too.
right.
You
Yeah.
know, and on the 1 year post the other night, you know, one of the Brookhaven parents said, you know, this has given kids an opportunity to be seen that haven't. And so I think that just kind of plays into it, the what can I do next to get noticed, or what photo shoot props
And
can
for
we have
even the
to-
kid that's not a highly recruited or recruited at all, I mean, it's fun. And
Yes.
let the kids be kids. I mean, they could be doing worse things.
Amen.
Oh,
You know,
Amen.
like, let them go take their pictures. Let them have fun. Let them feel professional for a little while.
Listen, when Katie hits retirement in December, there's a very good chance that if NIL money is right and Derwin Fields or Kadero McDaniel could take
I'll
her
go
to
anywhere they
Texas
go.
or Colorado,
Yeah.
she will
I'll go
literally
anywhere.
go and be their personal media person.
I love those two. They are so deserving of what is coming their way, and I can't wait to be able to support them in any way possible.
It's going to be fun.
It's so exciting
I just
to,
hope
like,
it's in Mississippi and
see
not
that.
Texas. and Colorado.
We'll see, brother. Signing day isn't here yet, brother. But yeah, I mean, she's got a passion that mirrors mine. If you our workflow, if those that don't know, she sends me a Dropbox link. I take the pictures, and I have to edit her sometimes because she will go to a game and take 5,000 pictures, and Facebook only lets you upload 80. And I'll be like, I mean, especially the fun one was the championship because we broke it up into some different albums. But when she gets in that flow and she's having fun, she's taking pictures of the game. She's taking pictures of the cheerleaders, the band.
fans.
Everybody wants. Look, I messed up. And I said on gallery, I said, look at this gallery from pictures of the band. And there was only like 2 pictures of the band in
Big
there.
mistake.
And I had band people, where are the rest of the pictures of the band? Well, my bad, man. There were a couple there. I just didn't realize it wasn't. There was more Macomb band than there were Brookhaven band. Now I got the band mad at me. You never want that.
What people don't understand though is halftime. I'm not going to get a sausage dog.
Right.
Because I never go to the concession stand. Halftime, I'm uploading pictures. You know, trying to process and cull and using that time. So a lot of times, if I don't get to shoot the band, it's because I'm working through halftime. So I did try toward the end of the season to be a little more deliberate about those kids because they're working just as hard and practicing in this heat and getting out there and working just like the
we talked about that
athletes
some
are.
last week, and that turns out some band members at different schools have to run up hills.
Yeah.
And probably full of tire.
Yeah. With a tuba running hills, man. I'd go
Grab your flute, let's go.
I'd go join the chess club if they made me do that. And yeah, so she also is in charge of our TikTok. She stays what's going on with the youth with that.
With them
Utes. She knows what the kids like on the TikTok. They like a cool song put behind
trends.
it. And
Let's go.
yeah, and so that's another area where she has helped y'all sports grow in the last year. How long you want to do this, Katie? I want to do it for a long time.
Oh man, I don't have a limit on it for
Yeah.
sure.
And let me say this: like you said last year, you maybe at a school or two, and they didn't quite know who you were, and you felt like you were in the way. Year 2 is not going to be that way. You roll in there with something y'all sports on, and the red carpet is going to be rolled out. Just so much support from the schools, from the fans. I've just seen it develop. You guys have done a great job on the sidelines and at the schools, and so y'all keep it up. I'm super excited.
They treat us like celebrities. Where do you feel the most celebrity-like when you go? I've got an answer.
The most celebrity like?
like the way when you walk in the gym, they're like, y'all sports. They're getting your attention. They want to get pictures. Enterprise loves it, dude. They
Enterprise.
Yes.
I was going to say probably my county school friends, Lloyd Star, which I mean, Lloyd Star still feels like home to me even after this long. But yeah, the smaller schools with the smaller teams, not that Brookhaven isn't welcoming and
but there's a bunch of photographers there.
Yeah,
when we go to
in competition.
When we go to the small schools, we're the only show in town. Well, I'm just talking about like I usually sit on the visitor side, and so I'm watching Franklin County and Enterprise play wasn't Franklin County, I forget who it was, but I'm trying to hang out over on the visitor side, and I look up, and they're calling me over. They're like, y'all sports, get over here. Because they were doing the ESPN desk thing, and that was a lot of fun. Another time we did the KDMC's basketball event all day. We're going to do more live events. Yeah. We got a head full of dreams.
I love those events where you get to see so many different schools play at one time, like the volleyball tournament a couple weeks ago. And Franklin County kids do recognize us a lot. I walked into the volleyball tournament and
say what she said.
A Franklin County player said, "Oh Lord, here comes y'all sports. Gonna put my big tail up on the website."
I know exactly what girl said that too. I know exactly.
And then later I was like, I really got some good shots of you. Like, they're fun when they see us coming and they know what we're there for.
Last year at one of the BHS games, I put the Y'all Sports hat on, and I was walking down the sidelines. And, man, the students section erupted. They're like, y'all sports. I'm like, no, he's out there. I just support the hat.
I'm just a fellow large bald man.
I had a teacher friend tell me yesterday in a meeting that because she was asking, am I going to dive more into y'all sports when I'm not working in schools anymore? And she said, I have kids that I teach like in Sunday school and on Wednesday nights that said they had to join Facebook just to be able to monitor.
That's the people telling me that we don't reach people on Facebook. We're getting them to join Facebook.
And I'm on there with my grandma, but I joined to watch.
Amelia Furr joined Facebook a couple of years ago, and she, as a teenager, and she told her mama and myself, she said, "Hey, I don't like Facebook. It's where all the drama is." And I said, spoken from the words of a babe right there. True. Well, I've got a head full of dreams, man. I'm a dreamer. And I wrote once, I said, y'all sports is for the dreamers. And I wouldn't be able to do the dreams that I have. I wouldn't be able to see those dreams play out if it wasn't for my sister. We've got a close relationship, Brandon. We used to have twin beds in the same room, and I was super scared of the dark, and she would sleep with the lights on just to make me happy. They say she taught me how to talk, and I haven't shut up ever since. Yeah. And that's
true story. I thought that I was in speech therapy when I was a child.
Because
turns out I was just his peer.
Yeah,
I had to go to speech with him.
When you keep a pacifier until you're 6 years old, you got to go get some professional help. Shout out to Beverly Ray.
More to come next week.
Yeah.
She did her big one.
Yeah. We're just telling family secrets here. Well, I've had a great time today. I mean, the time has flown by, and the words of Jay Greer, why don't you guys have another hour? And Jay, maybe that'll happen one day, but just honored to have her as my friend and my cohort. That's my sister, Katie Furr Mobley. She is the chief of photography for Y'all Sports, and she is she's just absolutely a part of this in every single way. And I love her so much and appreciate her so much. And I try to tell her that I want my gratitude to always come out. Katie, couldn't do it without you, baby.
Happy to be a part of it.
All right, that's Y'all Sports Radio for this week. You will see Katie on the sideline soon. You will see me on the sideline soon. We got volleyball and softball going, and we got football right around the corner, brother.
Let's go.
Keep tuning in to Y'all Sports and keep following Y'all Sports on all your social media and keep listening to Y'all Sports Radio.
SuperTalk Mississippi Media Production.